Hi everyone, my name is Rebecca Locklear. I am a senior at UNCP. I will be discussing why I was placed on probation. The questions are from a class I have taken, Strategies for Success. My husband will be asking the questions and I will follow with the answers. Thanks everyone for watching. You can go ahead and start, babe.
Okay, Rebecca. Why were you initially placed on probation?
I was initially placed on probation approximately, almost 9 years ago. I was in school full term. I was a senior. My status was a senior and my degree was chemistry. And I become pregnant. I had a son. And when I went back to school, I had a sister that was sick. She was sick for a long time. And I just couldn't cope. I couldn't cope with working full time. I couldn't cope with taking care of my son full time. I wanted to go back to actually having a lifestyle that what was normal to me at the time. And I also helped my mom a lot. So I worked 40 plus hours a week. I made pretty good money, and I had to make a decision. It was either quitting work or quitting school. And I know I couldn't quit work because I had to take care of my bills and my child. So I quit school. My life was different then. I wanted to party, I wanted to have fun. But I also tried to help my mom along the way as much as I could with helping her with money for gas and hotels, because she had to have money for travel expenses with my sister. And my mind stayed on that a lot. Cornetta became sick February 3rd, 2009 was her first surgery. And from then on out up until March the 6th, 2014 is when she went to sleep. And I've never been the same. I couldn't actually be the person that I needed to be in school and work full time, as well as be a mother, because I didn't know how to cope with all of that. I was taking physical chemistry, organic chemistry too, analytical chemistry, and inorganic, and my mind was just not where I needed it to be at the moment. So I ended up giving up on my dreams. I ended up working full time. I was a waitress, and I wish I would have never gave up, but through the whole ordeal in the past 10 years, I have really learned what it means to be a parent, what it means to be successful at working, as well as going to school full time, as well as giving your all to what your desires are, what your dreams are, what you want to achieve to be in life.
Okay, so what events happened in your life that stand out to you?
Some events that happened in my life that still stand out to me today was the passing of my sister. For the first 2.5 years, I ran and ran and ran. Every week we were going to see her, whether she was at a hospital, whether she was in another county, whether she was in another state. At one point, she was in Baltimore, Maryland for 8 months. Myself, as well as all of my siblings, we would run and go visit her. But at Cornetta's passing, it was just like a piece of me just went numb. And approximately 6 weeks later, I gave my life to the Lord, and I knew I had to make a change. I was working at Smithfield, and I knew that it's not where I wanted to be. I always said I would never work at a plant, but I did work at that plant, and I made some good friends. That's actually where I met my husband at, so I'm grateful for that. But I knew in the long run, that's not where I wanted to be. That's not what I wanted for my life. And I don't knock anybody that works at Smithfield, because some people can work there and they can flourish and have a successful life. But for someone like me who has always been in school and who has the type of mind that I have, settling for that was not what I wanted. It's not where I seen my life. So I knew I had to actually go back to school. I tried in 2016. I actually had to pay some money back. I paid back over $2,000 for fees and different things. And I actually thought I was going back to school, and then I found out I'd actually have to pay for over $5,000 to actually come back to school. That's not including my books. And I went home that day and I cried and cried and cried and cried and cried. But I knew no matter what, I was going to get the money together and come back to school. So this past year, I found out about the North Carolina, the scholarship promise, and I said, I'm going back to school. I like the job I'm at now. I really love working with the patients, but I don't make enough money for, I don't make enough money. I don't think I get paid enough money for what I'm worth. So yes, I'm going back. I'm going back to school. My desire is to have my master's pretty soon. I have 6 more classes I have to take with my major, as well as 2 with my academic concentration. So yes, those were some events that stood out. My sister's passing, me giving back my life to the Lord, and me knowing that my children deserve more, because my children are 2 and 10 and they're growing. And before long, they will need more from me than they do now.
Mm-hmm. So what strategies and resources have helped you become successful this semester?
Definitely praying, definitely having a lifeline, definitely setting up a schedule, definitely having a strong support system. My husband is there to push me no matter what. If I'm tired, he's always asking me, do you have homework? He's there pushing me days that I don't feel like doing anything. He's saying, Rebecca, you got to do this, and you can do it. I also have my pastor and his wife are my daughter's godparents. They help me out a lot. My son's father, Lyle, and his parents, Rita and Lane and Bossy. If it weren't for them, I don't know what I would do too, because they're the ones who are there who help me with McKinley. Whatever my children ask for, if we're not able to get it, they get it. So having a strong support system to help you with your family so you can actually study and go back to school is something you have to have. And you have to have a schedule, and you have to have your mind made up to go back to school and realize that, if you're not happy where you're at in life as far as the status, financially especially, then you need a career where you can make the money that you want, and also actually want to get up and go to work, because some people go to work and they're not happy, but they're getting a paycheck. I want to be happy with my career. I want to also make the type of money where I am able to sustain myself as well as my children if something happens to my husband. But yeah, those 3 things: prayer, strong support system, as well as having a schedule and making sure that you come home and stick to that schedule and follow through.
Okay. And what strategies, excuse me, and what strategies were not as helpful in aiding your success?
Strategies that were not as helpful is basically falling back into the lifestyle I had before, where I would always put things off. I used to be a bad procrastinator. Now I have to look at everything I have to do weekly. I have to kind of set up a timeline for myself. I have to actually look at my notes. Sometimes I have to go over my notes several times. I have to make sure I've done my homework. I used to be scared to ask people for help. I used to wouldn't call my professors, email them, or even follow up on anything if they had sent me an email. Excuse me, but now it doesn't matter. If I'm freaking out about something, I'm emailing somebody. If I can't get through to them via email, I'm calling them. I'm trying to get and connect with my professor some way, somehow, because I need help. And usually, if they can't help me, email a classmate, because sometimes, especially if like all my classes right now are online, I will find someone in class and email them. Or if you can set up like a group chat and let them know, hey, I need help, because there's always a way. There are resources out there, and a lot of times, and also follow your syllabus. If you follow your syllabus, a lot of times that's set up for you chronologically, so you can actually make A's, but you have to, follow through. You have to set up a timeline, stay in contact with someone, and always send an email. Make sure you actually are sending the emails out to the right person, because one of my classes I was sending the email out to one of my professors, but I was actually sending it to a student. So, because they had the same name. So now I'm kind of neurotic about checking myself, like following up on emails, as well as like when I submit my homework. I will email my professor and say, "Did you get it?" Because sometimes I feel like they hadn't. So just things like that I try to do now.
Okay. So discuss how you will implement the strategies and resources that have worked to help you once you're off probation to continue being successful.
Basically, for the next 8 classes that I have set up for myself, I would definitely keep my timeline set up. I would definitely keep my syllabus on hand. I would definitely keep contacts on hand. I would definitely weekly check my, if my classes are online, check my emails. If not, try to come to all classes. If you're not able to come to your classes beforehand, let your professor know, hey, maybe if you're not going to be there, and if you can make up your work if you're not in the classroom setting, or if you know something's going on and you're not going to be able to submit your homework, in due time, let them know, because sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. It just depends on, the professor. But definitely timeline, contact, keep that open line open, so that that communication can go back and forth, because if they don't know what's going on, they can't help you. As well as use your resources. Make sure you got your notes on hand. Sometimes they put notes online, homework, and also make sure you get your books for your class. If you have books, get those books. As well as speak to someone in your classroom. Make a friend. Like I said, if all classes are online, you have their emails right there. Email somebody, or set up a group chat. Somebody will email you back if it's only just one person. But I thank you for your time. If you can, just view this video. And everyone have a great night. Thanks.